Coach, can you tell us about the progression of the quarterbacks this year and your level of confidence in the way they played?
Yeah, we got two quarterbacks we think can play very well, and so we're going to go into the ballpark with two ready to play. And I would say Connor will play some this week. I thought he might play against Georgia, but we got into sort of just a running game and handing it off. And I tell you one thing, Stephen has been very good at grabbing those bad snaps. Connor's pretty good at it too, and we gotta continue working with TJ on the snaps, which we've tried to do this week. Because it's difficult back there when you get that low left one, and then you got to try to look at the defense, and guys are coming at you pretty consistently. We probably had better pass protection against Georgia than we did Furman, so it's difficult for the quarterbacks back there when that happens. So anyway, we got both of them ready to play, and Connor will probably see some action somewhere.
Coach, you talked about you hold so much success in the red zone offensively, but you also had a lot of success in the red zone defensively as well too. What has worked on both sides of the ball in the red zone to make such a significant improvement on what you did last year?
Oh, I don't know. You've been in all the games, haven't you? Well, I think with the ability to run the ball down there has certainly been helpful for the offense, and our defense is tightened up and played good run and pass defense down there. So, yeah, hopefully we can keep the other team kicking field goals. I mean, if you can do that, certainly got a chance to win a lot of games. If we can score touchdowns down there and the other team scores field goals, that's a huge difference, as we know.
When you watched film, was Travian's performance as dominant as it appeared live and on the stat sheet? Yeah,
Travian's had last two games been very good for Travian. Southern Miss game didn't have quite as many opportunities, but the last two games he's been very good in there, dominant. Well, he's a big, strong guy. It's hard to block, and he's a good run defender, and he gets pressure on the quarterbacks too. He's in there a lot. He's one of the strongest guys on the team, Travian, if not the strongest, which a defensive tackle should be. And sort of interesting, he came here as an outside linebacker. Came here at about 225, I think. Now he's a good, solid 280 or something like that.
Yeah. How much of his weight gain has been attributable to his being injured a little bit and just spending a lot of time in the weight room? Does that have to do with it, or is it just
not too much. He sort of has some genes of a big family, so he had a chance to get big, and he got big the right way without getting fat, of course. He got bigger and stronger. So yeah, he's very good in the weight room, and I think all that just added up to it.
Stephen, evaluating Auburn's defense, was it an advantage to be able to see them go against a team that you know pretty well, Clemson?
I don't know if that helps a lot. They may have a whole different plan for us. I think they will have a different plan, to tell you the truth. Usually defenses don't quite play the same way each week. Obviously, last week we struggled throwing the ball against a simple two-deep zone. So we may see a lot of that. Who knows? Or they may say, hey, we're going to go after them. Who knows? Generally, all teams come to the ballpark with a plan for whatever the other team may do, or some kind of plan anyway, and then try to adjust and have a go at it.
Steve,
Yes.
over here. It seemed like when you were at Florida, if there was a top quarterback out there, he was looking at your program. In the SEC now, have you seen quarterback play throughout the SEC kind of improve, whereas you get into the meat of the schedule, week to week, you guys are going against somebody who's pretty skilled and pretty talented out there?
Yeah, I guess so. Although this year there's a lot of new quarterbacks all over the SEC. A lot of new ones. Obviously, Alabama and Arkansas returned their guys, and a lot of teams like us have returned their guys. But then a lot of new quarterbacks. But I think the SEC defenses are certainly tougher than most of the other conferences around the country. I think most people agree with that. So when you play conference games, maybe there's not quite as many passing yards and so forth as you could have against the other teams.
Steve, have you gotten a sense how CC and Garrett are doing, the other two guys who are dealing with loss?
Yeah, CC had a tragedy in his family. A lot of people may not know about. His brother was shot and killed Sunday night. And so he didn't practice yesterday, and we talked to him a little bit. So he's going through some grieving and counseling, as we all are for CC Whitlock also. And he's going to definitely try to play this week. He said, I want to be with my team and play. So hopefully we can make that happen also.
Steve, talk a little bit about Cam Newton and the problems he presents for you defensively.
Well, our defensive coaches could answer that better than I can, but obviously he's a big guy, 6'6", about 250, and runs a lot. Very good runner, good passer, and we got to stop the run first and get him throwing the ball and hold on to him. He can obviously shake an arm or a hand if someone's trying to tackle him like that. So you got to get a good grasp on a quarterback that's big and strong and elusive. So he's a very good athlete back there. I'm not sure. I think he may have as many rushing yards as their tailbacks or halfbacks. But he's a good runner, good passer, and got to slow him down, definitely.
Steve, what do you recall about your last game at Auburn, and how would you compare where your program is today to where it was that day?
Well, it was interesting. That year, after we got clobbered by Alabama and Auburn, we came back and won 5 in a row. How do you figure that? I don't know how to figure it, because that wasn't our strongest team here, but somehow or another it worked out. We won a bunch of close games down the stretch there. But Auburn has generally been a tough place to play for most all their opponents. But we got a tough place to play here. Most all SEC teams, most of them, not all of them, would rather play at home. But we just got to go play. We got to line up and try to control the line of scrimmage, not get pushed around. Some of our guys got pushed around by those Furman guys. I didn't realize how tough they were till I watched the tape of some of our guys trying to block them last week. So we better come with a lot meaner attitude than some of our linemen than we did last week. So hopefully we can do that.
Coach, how do you assess Auburn's physicality, particularly against Clemson last week? Pretty physical game.
Both teams were pretty even. As you know, if Clemson hits the pass, it goes off the receiver's hand, they win the game, and they're doing all the, we knew this could happen, and we knew this. Whoever wins the game has the answers. Whoever loses, we got to get better, got to work at it, blah, blah, blah. So, it was a game either team could have won, and Clemson had the chances, obviously, to win it, but they didn't do it. So now Auburn's got a little momentum going, and they got to regroup. That's the way sports is right there. But it was two pretty even teams the way we looked at it.
Steve had a couple of guys dinged up last week. It looks like Shaq Wilson's back, but is Rokevius Watkins ready to go? Is it still a wait and see?
Yeah, Rokevius practiced a little bit last night. We think he's going to be able to play, and hopefully he'll play a lot better this game. Some of our linemen didn't play their best last week, so we're expecting improvement in the O-line this coming game.
Coach, considering the fact that defense has only given up 2 offensive touchdowns in 3 games, can you ask anything more out of defense through the first 3 games?
Ask anything more? Well, we finally got a defensive score. That was nice. Yeah. We want some defensive scores, some turnovers. We're asking for it, but we realize they played well. And, pass defense, we've had some breakdowns here and there. So we certainly don't have all the answers right now. We all got to try to keep improving as we go through this season.
Mm-hmm. Coach, do you feel like football can be a welcome distraction for your team to focus on as opposed to all the off-field stuff they're dealing with right now?
Well, you people think we've had a lot of off-field stuff. The only The only distraction we had was prior to the first game when we had about 15 guys we didn't know were going to play or not. And at the last moment, 12 out of 14 got cleared to play, something like that, or 10 out of 12, whatever it was. So that was a little bit of a distraction. But other than that, no, we haven't had any distractions, no. And yesterday's event with Kenny McKinley certainly is something that we will try to handle the appropriate way. And then we have to move on and get ready to play a ball game. Our team has set a lot of goals for this year, and this is a crucial game for us in trying to achieve our goals.
Steve, I know in this difficult situation, when you think back to just a couple weeks ago, was there anything when you chatted with Kenny that seemed a little off or odd or anything?
No, all of our players said the same thing, that when he was here, he was happy, smiling, usual Kenny. And, in fact, I think he watched the Georgia game from my office up there because he was on crutches from his knee surgery. And I saw him up there right after the game. He was his usual self, and that's it's hard to comprehend how that could happen.
Anything else for Coach?
Okay. See you guys at Auburn.